Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky community mourns the loss of a mother and son after they were killed in a tragic car crash. And the father of a 7-month-old boy who died while under the watch of his mother and boyfriend gives more details about the devastating incident.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. 5:34 here. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. And earlier this morning, we reported that Highway 15 in Breathitt County was closed, and I'm told that it is reopened. So that's some good news there. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast this morning. And Brandon, if people are getting out this morning, they better make sure they go slow.
Yeah.
Well, because, okay, so like I live downtown, and the roads like weren't frozen, I guess.
Right.
Like I could hear some slush.
Right.
So I guess that's kind of a good thing.
So it's only in spots.
Yeah.
Now, I had a viewer, and I'm going to try to address this on the air because I had a chance to respond back to you. You were talking about the comment earlier. The further north you go, I know somebody was trying to get from Hazard to Lexington, you're going to be fine because all this is south. So again, the wintry mix, the snow, all that is to the south. The further north you go, you probably just cloudy skies once you get past basically up into central Kentucky. So just be careful out there this morning regardless. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you'll see as we head, again, the heavier bands of snow are the darker blues, basically from Wayne County over into southwest Virginia, southern West Virginia, kind of in a line. And the line, the dividing line, is actually the Hal Rogers Parkway and Highway 80 corridor. Okay, anything south of this line, I'm going to circle it here for you, in the heavy blue is heavy snow. So again, if you're in those areas and back over into parts of Dickinson and Buchanan counties where you see the heavier blue too, that is heavy snow this morning. Anything above that, lighter snow, maybe just a few flakes. Anything south of that, cold rain. So just beware of that as you head out the door this morning. Lake Cumberland, that camera kind of out there, you can see the flakes falling on that just a little bit. It's kind of a grainy shot this early in the morning, but once it gets daylight, we'll be able to see that better. But you can definitely see those snowflakes falling on it this morning. Temperatures a little warmer to our south, and that's going to creep up as we head through the daytime hours. We're expected to get into the 40s a little bit later on this afternoon, so we're going to continue to watch that. As we head deeper into the forecast, though, overall, we're going to continue to see, and I don't have my other graphic in apparently, but you'll see temperatures climb and the moisture move out as we head deeper into the afternoon. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll have some clearing skies tonight and tomorrow for the weekend. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Betsy Lane Elementary School students and staff are mourning the loss of 8-year-old Jose Daniel Vasquez. He was one of 2 people who died after a car crash on Kentucky 1428 Monday, along with his mother, 39-year-old Paula Vasquez. Their car reportedly hydroplaned into a county vehicle along Kentucky 1428. Betsy Lane Elementary School Principal Jonathan Parsons said, quote, "Our Betsy Lane family is heartbroken at the tremendous loss of Jose Daniel Vasquez. We could often find Daniel at our home basketball games, cheering on the Bobcats while spending time with his friends," end quote. Meanwhile, Paula's friend, Megan Kidd, says she was one of a kind and loved her family very much.
She wanted somebody else's happiness and well-being to come before hers. She was just that kind of person.
Kidd says Paula and her son will always be united. On Wednesday, the father of a 7-month-old child that died in August said the baby reportedly rolled off of a couch and onto a hardwood floor. A Rockcastle grand jury indicted the boy's mother, 23-year-old Kirsten Durham, and her boyfriend, 32-year-old Jonathan Durbin, in connection with the death. The boy's father said Michael Scott was discovered hours after he rolled off of a couch. He said both Durham and Durbin were asleep when it happened. Now Kentucky State Police is investigating.
You know, I don't think anybody wants to hurt their child. And sometimes your actions, your behaviors, that can cause a child or another human being to get hurt.
The baby's father said he tried to get Michael from the mother and her boyfriend, but it was too late. He says he hates to see anyone locked up, but he believes there will be justice. Both Durham and Durbin are charged with manslaughter and criminal abuse 2nd degree. They are scheduled to be arraigned in Rockcastle Circuit Court in April. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says a missing man may have been making his way towards Richmond. In a Facebook post on Tuesday, the Sheriff's Office said Timothy Hobbs was last seen by a family member near the Fill Ups Gas and Grocery on December 26th. At the time, Timothy was walking north on Highway 421. He's described as being about 5'11" and weighs about 130 pounds. He also has a scar on the left side of his nose and mole on his chin. Police are asking you call the Jackson County Sheriff's Office or Jackson County Emergency Management using the numbers you see on your screen if you have any information about where he might be. A man accused of ramming a police cruiser and throwing meth out of a car during a police chase was taken into custody. The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office and U.S. Marshals Cuff Task Force arrested Sean Reisner at a Fallsburg home. Last week, a traffic stop was conducted by the Wayne County, West Virginia Sheriff's Drug Enforcement Unit. Instead of stopping, he took off on West Virginia Route 152. During the pursuit, Reisner was accused of ramming a deputy cruiser twice and sideswiping the cruiser. The chase ended due to safety reasons. Reisner was charged with several charges and was already wanted for a parole violation prior to the arrest. We have some exciting news for Huddle House fans. The Hazard Huddle House is expected to reopen at the end of April. As you can see in the photo, it's still under construction, but we are told those involved with the rebuilding process are looking for workers to fill both management and other store positions. If you are interested in applying for one of the new positions, you can head over to WYMT.com and look for this story. More than $3 million in federal funding is on the way to Kentucky, and some of the money is heading to the mountains. Senator Mitch McConnell's office announced some of the places and areas the funding will go toward or as part of the Safe Streets and Roads for All program. The Lake Cumberland Area Development District is receiving the biggest amount at about $237,000. The Kentucky River Area Development District is also getting $208,000. The city of Corbin is getting about $166,000, and Ashland is getting $160,000. The funding for the program came from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which was signed into law 2 years ago. Kentucky Republican Congressman Hal Rogers, Andy Barr, James Comer, Brett Guthrie, Thomas Massey voted with 213 other Republicans yesterday to pass the Show Up Act in the United States House of Representatives. The Show Up Act would end COVID-19 era work policies and require government agencies to reinstate the telework policies that were in place prior to January 1st, 2020. Kentucky's only Democrat Representative Morgan McGarvey voted no. He joined the other 205 Democrats who voted no to bring the final vote tally to 221 and yes, 206 for no, and 6 individuals who did not vote. The Kentucky Department of Revenue will start processing state tax returns next week. Revenue Department leaders say workers will start processing returns on Monday. It's a process that takes about 4 to 6 weeks. You can check the status of your refund by visiting refund.ky.gov and entering your Social Security number. Well, just ahead this morning, a country music star prepares to take the stage at the Grammys to perform a special tribute to the coal miner's daughter.
Snow continues for some this morning, but it will be replaced by another S word for tomorrow, sunshine. I'll have more on when how long it will last in about 3 minutes.